Welcome to the BAPS Better Living Podcast. Thank you for choosing to spend your time with us today. Each episode in this podcast aims to inspire each of us to take a step back from our busy lives and to actively listen to content that can enlighten us towards expanding our consciousness and towards deepening our spirituality. Listen in and let this episode inspire you. Let it encourage you to have fruitful introspections and, most importantly, let it help you be better and do better.
It was the first week of law school, and I was sitting in my criminal law class when my professor strode to the front of the classroom with a thick black dry erase marker in his hand, and he wrote the word intent in big capital letters on the whiteboard. For the next hour or so, we discussed this word, what it meant, and its implications in the field of law. We all understood by the end of the class that homicide is a killing, but it is the intent of the killer that determines whether it is murder, manslaughter, or merely an accident. Criminal law class, by its very nature, was dark and disturbing, but the understanding of intent can equally be applied to something positive and good. When I was in high school, many years ago, I was fortunate enough to be inducted into the National Honor Society. Being a part of this organization, we had to put in a certain number of volunteer hours. And I remember that the teacher in charge of the program would provide us with volunteer opportunities within the school or at nearby locations so that we can fulfill our requirements. Now, most of us admittedly did not take any initiative to find our own opportunities. We slogged through the 1 or 2 hours that she had provided us and met our mandate. Our intent was very clear. We just wanted to stay in National Honor Society long enough to put it on our college applications. However, as I got older, I began to understand volunteering on a deeper level, and that we each have a responsibility to help the collective whole. Whether it's coaching Little League, helping out at a soup kitchen, providing free services to someone who can't afford it, or just helping out that elderly person carry their groceries. Most of us, in some way, have always given back. However, sometimes, with that service, there may be a secondary motive. It may be as simple as you want to have a good time with your friends, maybe you're bored. It may be that you want to better hone a particular skill for the future, or secretly hoping that someone will recognize that you're helping. As a student, it may be that you want to explore a career or simply get more credentials on your resume. Nonetheless, at the end of the day, your intent to help is not what is judged, but just your actions. And I think that's a good thing, because regardless of why you're doing a good deed, others are benefiting from those efforts, and that in itself is noble. I know a lot of times the good things I do out of the kindness of my heart sometimes has some expectations and hopes. In Hinduism, we use a Sanskrit word that is similar to volunteering. That word is seva. The concept of seva is one of selfless service to others or to society. To put it another way, seva is helping others without any intent other than to help them, and with the altruistic satisfaction that by helping others, you will please Bhagwan or God. So if the difference between seva and volunteering on any given action is merely a matter of mind or intent, this begs the question, is there any limit to seva? His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj showed us that the answer is simply no. When you look at his life, whatever he did to help others. There was never a want of recognition. There was never a, hey, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine attitude. Whether it was personally counseling individuals and families, hosting celebrations attended by millions, building mandirs of all sizes, or simply traveling to small towns or big cities, what he did was never for himself. It was for the good of others, for the joy of others. It was to let others know they were never alone, and there was never a desire for recognition or a sense that, hey, I have done enough. Pramukh Swami Maharaj got involved because it was the right thing to do. In 1944, Pramukh Swami Maharaj was engaged in the construction of a traditional stone mandir that still sits outside of Vadodara, Gujarat. Swami toiled in the scorching sun every day for nearly 10 months. And even though he was roughing it out with the volunteers, construction workers, and skilled artisans, he was already, in fact, a member of the organization's board of trustees. He was in a position to tell others to do the tasks, but he instead chose to do them himself. Decades later, Pramukh Swami Maharaj was asked why he did so much physical seva when he could have asked others to do it. Pramukh Swami Maharaj genuinely answered, doing seva was a matter unrelated to rank or position. He answered in a way that only Pramukh Swami Maharaj genuinely can answer. Doing seva was a matter unrelated to rank or position. There were no distinctions between being big or small. Whatever was shown, it was to be done. I have always considered myself a sevak, or one who does seva, from the beginning. Through his own words, Pramukh Swami Maharaj has given a remarkable gift to us as we celebrate his 100th birth anniversary. It's the gift of pointing us towards a better perspective, of a nobler intent, of a purer heart. In today's world of me first and the selfie, doing service selflessly becomes less and less natural and easily. Though my law professor spent a good hour or so focusing on the word intent, I believe we could spend years examining the way Pramukh Swami Maharaj was able to keep his intentions so pure and sincere throughout his entire life. And we can likewise spend a lifetime finding ways to apply these observations in our day-to-day lives. He showed us that seva is not merely an action, but should be a mindset and can be a way of life. When Pramukh Swami Maharaj said, "In the joy of others lies our own," he wasn't just making a statement. It was the culmination of a lifelong dedication to selflessly serving others. Seva was not something Pramukh Swami Maharaj did, but rather, it was something that he was.
We hope you enjoyed this Better Living episode and that it added value to your life. This episode and all content on this channel is created and managed entirely by Swamis and volunteers of BAPS from around the world. Our volunteers are continuously inspired by the sincere, transparent, and selfless lives of Pramukh Swami Maharaj, the former Guru of BAPS, and Mahant Swami Maharaj, the current Guru of BAPS. Their character, their teachings, and work have inspired millions of people across all backgrounds, faiths, and cultures throughout the world. They have encouraged all, regardless of one's beliefs, to live a mindful, a balanced, and a harmonious life. If you enjoy content that inspires you to be better and do better, and you would like more Better Living content, follow us on Instagram and YouTube by searching for BAPS Better Living. Thank you for choosing to spend your valuable time with us.